And I went to Brussels, Belgium. My whole family. From there, from Lyon so far, it's like 1 hour
Talking
away
about
from
HIV,
Brussels.
it was my mother, my father, my uncles, everyone. So we suffered a lot
We went on
when
the
I lost my
boat.
parents
That
because
boat
of the
was
HIV.
How old
rocking.
were you?
I was 12, 3 months
Bad
old.
time,
Oh,
like
sorry.
waves, yeah.
That was
I've
when
never
12,
seen that in my
I had to
life.
go live
Just
with people,
rocking like,
big food from
man,
people
there was
because
not
of
tomorrow.
HIV.
I just said to the guy, hey, I hope my car's not moving there. These like shit, those cars are like bouncing into each other and stuff.
I don't know how to explain.
They said they
I'm
have
very
stuff
scared of
to
HIV,
stabilize
so
them.
that's why I always want to try to do something.
What's this about? Let's do it.
Cross zero, yeah? Got it?
So you finished now? It's only like 2 o'clock, man.
No, I'm not been today.
Oh, you've not been in?
I'm not been in a week.
So you only start again on Monday?
Yeah.
Vaccines had been left
You've been
to
chilling all this
the
time.
development by
Doing
pharmaceuticals.
went for a big walk this morning.
They in essence
big walk,
would
yeah.
decide
Big walk.
what vaccines they were going to invest in.
How many kilometers?
I don't know, I went to
And the reality is that there
Chicago,
often
over to
is
Bushes,
a
over to,
balance between their perceived market and societal need.
and then back over Bushes.
In HIV, there was a huge societal need. There was an enormous amount of infection.
The guy was
in the
actually nice.
undeveloped world.
He just fixed it for me for free. Like, he just took the thing and then we took
So you
an
saw
extension link
very
and plugged
rapid
it
drop
into a
out
different
of
socket.
this investment.
And
When it goes
One
like that,
really
some
needed
symptoms
to
and the
provide
dogs
the
have a
clinical
powerful,
you know, that thing there, I got it
clinical
changed.
trials.
So you feed. What
Yeah.
was it?
There was a
This is the
no,
most expensive
it's a
part
breaker.
of doing
The fuse
drug
inside the
development.
thing gone.
And
So I got
we
it
are
changed
going
by,
towards a
I have a
society
guy there, he's
creating
he's a
infrastructure.
Oh, nice light thing.
Yeah, because they told me that motors don't just go like that. It's quite rare for a motor to go, you know. So usually it's an electric problem first that you have to eliminate before you
I'm
get into
learning
the
about the
motor.
wonder of
I think
antibody-mediated
you've lost a little bit
prevention,
of your brain there.
a clinical trial of the most beautiful
That's good,
cutting-edge
don't they?
vaccine science.
It tells you
It has taken decades to develop something that targets HIV's unique ability to evade a traditional vaccine. It feels like we're on the cusp of something really big here.
Oh well, because you're shooting rules from the inside, that's gonna be, you know,
The reason we call it
you
number
know,
one,
a
the
messy
BRCA1,
job. Well,
was the first
why don't you
potent
just have a
antibody that we were
new
able to obtain from
shutter
one of the
that goes
volunteers.
outside, rolls outside, yeah?
Turned out to be an
And that
individual
costs
who
you
was in clinical
£1,500.
trials, volunteering at NIH, donated his blood.
Oh,
and,
this
the
motor's quite
serum had
old.
these
I don't think we
tremendously
can get it.
potent
Or you can
antibodies
try
against
with SRL. The guy that came
He
in,
was happy
he had a
to
look at it. They gave me all those
volunteer,
quotes
and he
to
knew that
repair
we
it,
isolated this antibody
£800.
at the time.
To have a new one, £1,500. And then they said, oh, as you're still thinking
And when
about
that was
this,
done,
that's a very good
several
price,
reps
mate. You
found,
know, it
and we're
is,
actually making the lab
you
protein
know, everything's gone up.
that
Well,
was able to
you
kill,
can call,
block
otherwise
HIV
you can call
very quickly.
SRL, the people who did it initially. They're the people who did the initial SRL.
And the
They're
ants
like,
that are not giving the
installers, they've
vaccine,
got
we're actually giving
their
the
badge on it.
antibody protein itself.
So you can call them if you
If a
want.
person, an
And I
individual,
just
had
thought,
those antibodies before they were actually exposed,
I'm like,
it could be completely
yeah,
prevented
this
from
is actually
infection.
like my guy gave me. So I called him
So we're
again.
almost taking
And
a
so,
step
okay, yeah, the-
beyond the vaccine,
exactly,
or
it's,
skipping a step,
It's
and actually
coming,
giving the body
you know, I
the
eat
immune
for
proteins
it's
itself.
not like,
The humanness of this, that
Yeah,
someone who
yeah,
has
yeah.
HIV infection
it's
could
not from
actually
the hard worker.
provide someone who doesn't have HIV infection to actually prevent them from getting HIV. What a wonderful story. What a wonderful example of biology.
But when you don't know, man, you're getting ripped off. Those guys will have gone those things, ripping all of me for about 3 hours,
The
closing
genesis
me
of this
to
undertaking
close the shop
started
for a
on
bit or whatever,
that.
just for them
So God,
to steal
You sit down and sort
literally
of draw it on
800 pounds
that.
from me.
How would we test this?
That's the world we
it
live in.
ended up being a pretty massive undertaking.
Global pandemics need global effort, more so when you're dealing with viruses that are rapidly mutating. The reason we know what we know today is because scientists have cooperated across many countries. The trouble is, we've been moving increasingly in the direction of research becoming a private affair. determined by competition and exclusivity. The big takeout from HIV was that only massive investment into public health and sharing research could contain a deadly pandemic. In 2020, this put us in a prime position to collaborate in numerous international COVID vaccine trials.
Tech was involved in the pivotal COVID vaccine opportunity in terms of doing clinical research. And we need to also make sure that even though we're doing these trials, we have to make sure that we have access to
Yeah. Have you been like about 2 weeks?
Yeah.
and then relax and relax. Good. Well done.
So we have to be committed to the end game now. The end game is incredible motivation and stuff.
I was watching it, mate. Fell asleep, weren't I?
In 2019, 2020.
I was watching it, but then I fell
We can
asleep
do
at
it
one point, man.
10 times, 100 times
What was the
faster.
final score? 1 year, so it never changed.
Antibodies from COVID infected.
My race, isn't it?
Find 100
Down Saturday, haven't we?
Huh?
Got down Sunday.
HIV, a
Not
little bit
what
like the
Chelsea,
NASA space
yeah.
program. It brought
On
together
Sunday,
all
was
kinds
it
of
semi-final,
technology
was it?
that
No,
appear in
that's
some
only
small
the
areas.
That's
And one of those areas is
Right.
emerging
Where?
viruses.
Is
like
it the city?
I'm not sure. I think United play tonight.
The biotech firm Moderna Therapeutics announced this morning that the first 8 participants in the first phase of its COVID-19 vaccine trial developed some antibodies after just one single dose. Now, that's a promising sign from the trial done in collaboration with the National Institutes of Health.
Football features
Nations with vaccine producing capacity poured billions into the development of COVID vaccines. In return for funding the manufacture of vaccines, participating drug companies like Moderna were given full intellectual property rights over the finished product. Governments have essentially stepped in to de-risk investment. And in an ideal world, public money should mean greater public access. Tens of thousands of volunteers signed up to participate in clinical trials. I too joined one of the trials in the belief that my country would gain access to those vaccines that were successful.
Right now, we've got the US that has already bought vaccine in advance from 3 of the leading groups that are developing vaccines. So that means our opportunity to gain access to those vaccines are very limited as an individual country.
This was perhaps the first sign that things were going astray in South Africa's access to vaccines. As a middle-income country and one so involved in vaccine development, there was no excuse for us not to have pre-purchased supplies for our own population. Still, there would always be COVAX.
You sure?
Yeah.
The COVAX pillar aims to ensure that every country gets fair and equitable access to eventual COVID-19 vaccines. It's not about one country versus another. It's about one world.
Why were you selling in the first place? Before you wouldn't need it.
I'm selling it, I got a van.
Right. Well, bike is not just
Sitting at the centre
transportation,
of
it's also
infectious
fitness.
disease control
You
is
forgot
Tony
that bit
Fauci.
when you're selling it.
For decades, he's been behind all the key interventions that have prevented outbreaks from becoming global pandemics.
Consider that
Ebola,
as his
Zika,
Christmas
SARS,
gift.
you name it. But his life's work His passion has centered around HIV.
It's inexcusable that an academic priority should ever come before the health of the people that you're working with. There's no question about that.
African narrative.
So I just have to hold on to that, innit?
A new series of short documentaries by African filmmakers from Mali and Gabon.
Je suis une Africaine, pas plus Afrique de l'Ouest.
Maintaining heritage and making her future. Africa Direct on Al Jazeera.
My house is at, it's just like 2 minutes away from my house. I used to. Watch the road and go here after here. It's next to Manchester Central Cemetery or whatever. Next to Queen Road. You get there. I'm going to go up here or something. It's when you don't focus
Now is the time to be direct. There is a growing realization that rights can be taken away in this country to cut through the rhetoric,
I'm debating here whether I should go left or right. I end up going right, but I'm still thinking, oh, have I made the right choice or have I made it? And then the camera's there, and I forgot my camera. I'm talking to myself about some nonsense, and I just see the flash. Well, I was really like, there's women who are like, well, it might not be you. It might be. What the fuck's fucking me? Of course the driver knows when it's him. It's me. Someone said only women can get lost with a sat nav. Following the sat nav says turn right, they actually turn left. And I've actually seen that firsthand. Maybe in a car, woman following the sat nav.
I'm Rob Matheson in Doha with the top stories on Al Jazeera. A unilateral ceasefire announced by President Vladimir Putin has gone into effect in Ukraine, according to Russian state television. But Ukraine's leaders dismissed the 36-hour pause in fighting. There are accusations on both sides of continued strikes and shelling.
Those who continued the terror against our country and sent all these people of yours to be slaughtered, rejecting our proposals to stop Russian aggression, definitely do not value life and moreover do not strive for peace. They now want to use Christmas as a cover, albeit briefly, to stop the advancement of our forces in Donbass and bring equipment, ammunition and mobilize troops closer to our positions. What will that give them? Only yet another increase in their total losses.
Chinese authorities have urged people to limit the number of trips and gatherings ahead of the Lunar New Year, but they've stopped short of banning travel altogether. China's facing scrutiny over its response to the surge in COVID-19 infections. Kevin McCarthy's bid to become US House Speaker is now the longest voting process in 164 years. After 3 days and 11 rounds, the Republican has failed to get enough support from his own party.
A £10 discount.
Violence and bloodshed have broken out in the streets of Culiacan in Mexico following the arrest of a powerful cartel leader. Ovidio Guzman Lopez is the son of the jailed drug lord known as El Chapo. The M23 rebel group is occupying new areas in the Democratic Republic of Congo, despite saying it would withdraw from some areas. The armed group announced last month it would pull out from the towns of Rumangabo and Kibumba that it occupied last October. Tens of thousands of homes are without power in the U.S. state of California after a Pacific storm.
I'll just say under one condition.
A young child among two people who were killed when a tree fell on a mobile home. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is erupting for the second time in less than a month. The volcano is one of the world's most active, and the U.S. geological watchdog has raised its alert level to red. The warning gas and smoke could cause people breathing difficulties and damage crops. South Korean tech giant Samsung Electronics says profits sank to an 80.
We're done with these, I guess. Probably about 10 minutes or 12 minutes. That's not the fastest. Fastest stream. You tell me what you think.
In the other horizon for visually impaired Iraqis, they finally have their own football team. Training was once.
Nobody's seen this stream. No, the back. I'm not sure.